You're watching Tag TV. You're watching Tag TV.
Sushma Swaraj slams Pakistan at UNGA over terror. Pakistan airspace violation in Jammu and Kashmir termed as provocation. Philippines bars entry of Pakistan terror suspect. And bomb blast rock Afghanistan ahead of elections. India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, in her annual speech at United Nations in New York this week, lambasted Pakistan for its policies relating to terrorism. We have a report.
The 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York saw the External Affairs Minister of India take on Pakistan's duplicity, identifying it as a key feature or obstacle in fighting the menace of terrorism originating from its soil. Ripping into the double talks and lies of Pakistan, she pointed out that the architect of the 9/11 terror attack, Osama bin Laden, was given a safe haven in Pakistan, the same country which used to be a close ally of the United States, consistently denying the whereabouts of the dreaded terrorists. Sushma Swaraj took the opportunity to point out that the mastermind of the 26/11 terror attack, Hafiz Saeed, is roaming free in Pakistan and also campaigned in the recently concluded elections of Pakistan with impunity.
और यह सिलसिला अभी भी जारी है, लगातार जारी है। 9/11 का मास्टरमाइंड तो मारा गया, किंतु 26/11 का मास्टरमाइंड हाफिज सईद आज भी खुला घूम रहा है, रैलियां करता है, चुनाव लड़वाता है, सरेआम भारत को धमकियां देता है। लेकिन एक बात संतोष की है कि दुनिया के देशों ने अब पाकिस्तान का सही चेहरा पहचान लिया है और इसीलिए FATF ने टेरर फंडिंग के लिए, आतंकवादियों को आर्थिक सहायता देने के लिए पाकिस्तान को निगरानी सूची में रख दिया है। अध्यक्ष जी, हम पर एक आरोप लगाया जाता है कि हम पाकिस्तान के साथ बातचीत करने के लिए तैयार नहीं होते। ये पूरी तरह असत्य है। हमारा तो मानना है कि दुनिया के जटिल से जटिल मुद्दे केवल बातचीत से ही सुलझाए जा सकते हैं और सुलझाए जाने चाहिए। इसीलिए पाकिस्तान के साथ अनेक बार वार्ता शुरू की गई है। वार्ताओं के अनेक दौर भी चले हैं, लेकिन हर बार उनकी हरकतों के कारण ही वार्ता रुकी है।
As far as 26/11 attack and the 9/11 attacks are concerned, there is a tremendous amount of similarity because in both the attacks it was a group which was funded, recruited, trained and also financed by Pakistan which carried out this attack, and the mastermind which controlled the whole attack also found a safe haven in Pakistan. So there's absolutely no doubt that there were tremendous amount of similarities, because when you want to launch an attack of this scale, it requires a fair amount of teamwork, it requires highly qualified people, that people have to be trained on this, they require a lot of finances, they require a lot of coordination, and they require, of course, command and control. All this was provided by Pakistan, and it was after 9/11 that the United States launched what is called as the global war on terror.
Swaraj then went on to describe the celebrity status that the terrorists enjoy in Pakistan owing to the backing of government, which is a puppet of the Pakistan Army and the intelligence agency ISI. Pakistan, the safe haven for terrorists, recently released a stamp of Hizbul terrorist Burhan Wani, who was killed in an encounter with security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. Sushma Swaraj also took a pot shot at such acts. She explained that in 1996, India proposed a draft document on CCIT at the United Nations, and till today that draft has remained a draft. Swaraj rightly pointed out that on one hand, Pakistan promises of fighting terrorism, but the very next moment terrorists are celebrated, financed and armed as liberation heroes by a country that remains a member of the United Nations. Naming terrorism and climate change as two existential threats to humanity, Swaraj called for increasing efficient multilateralism to tackle global challenges.
विश्व आज जिन चुनौतियों से जूझ रहा है उसमें जलवायु परिवर्तन और आतंकवाद सबसे बड़ी चुनौतियां हैं। जलवायु परिवर्तन की चुनौती के सबसे बुरे परिणाम अविकसित और कम विकसित देश भोग रहे हैं, जिनमें अपने बचाव की ना सामर्थ्य है और ना क्षमता है। इसलिए जिन विकसित देशों ने प्रकृति का विनाश करके अपना विकास किया है, वो आज अपनी जिम्मेदारी से मुंह नहीं मोड़ सकते। यदि हम विश्व को जलवायु परिवर्तन के दुष्परिणामों से बचाना चाहते हैं तो बड़े देशों को छोटे देशों की सहायता के लिए आगे आना ही होगा।
Swaraj and her Pakistani counterpart Shah Mahmood Qureshi were slated to meet on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. However, India called off the meeting last week, citing the brutal killings of policemen in Jammu and Kashmir by Pakistani terrorists. India stands firm that it would not compromise with terrorists, and talks and terror cannot go hand in hand. India is firm on these two policies as Pakistan has continued to harbour, train and fund terrorist groups which are radical and aggressive and continue to spew venom against India.
A Pakistani chopper violated the Indian airspace along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir state of India on September 30th. This turned out to be another attempt of Pakistan to provoke India. Newsweek South Asia takes a look.
The Poonch sector of India's Jammu and Kashmir saw another violation by Pakistan, this time in the form of airspace violation. A white Pakistani helicopter was seen entering the Indian airspace and the proof was released soon by the Indian Army before Pakistan would again return to the old game of denial of the facts. Jammu-based Army Public Relations Officer Lieutenant Colonel Devinder Anand said that the helicopter violated the airspace around 12:10. Poonch is a known infiltration route and hence this misadventure of Pakistan is seen by many as nothing short of a provocation by Pakistan.
This is the second time that this incident happened, that a Pakistani aircraft, it crossed the LOC and came into the Indian territory. And it came much into the Indian territory, about 10 kilometers into the territory. Now you see, this Pakistan might have done with probably three possibilities I can see here. The first possibility is it might have crossed the LOC by mistake, which I don't see that as a possibility. The second possibility might be that due to the strong answer given by Mrs. Sushma Swaraj at the United Nations to Pakistan and how India has proven that Pakistan is a terror country, Pakistan probably might have got angry, irritated, or it might have lost its head, due to which it crossed over and it was flying its aircraft in the Indian territory. The third possibility might be that there are about more than 250 terrorists waiting at the launch pads to cross the LOC and probably to see new routes from where these terrorists can infiltrate into India. This aircraft might be flying. India retaliated, but then it should have shot down this Pakistan aircraft which crossed the LOC.
Officials said that while the helicopter crossed into the Indian airspace and hovered over there for some time before turning back, three forward posts fired small arms after noticing airspace violations. Interestingly, the chopper was carrying none other than the so-called Prime Minister of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Raza Farooq Haider.
It is a big possibility that there are about more than 250 terrorists waiting at the launch pads to cross the LOC and enter into India, because they want to do it so that before the winter sets in and before the snowfall begins, the passes are open and they want to enter into India before the passes get closed after snowfall. And that is why probably this aircraft entered into the country to find out new passes in case these passes get closed due to early snowfall. And that is why probably this aircraft was carrying out a surveillance at the LOC to see where pockets can be identified from where these terrorists can enter into the country.
Haider claimed that the chopper in which he was travelling was very close to the LOC but within Pakistan's airspace. Talking to a Pakistani newspaper, Dawn, Haider said the incident took place at around 12:10 p.m. on Sunday. Haider added that he was travelling with 2 ministers and his personal staff officer in a civilian white-coloured aircraft when it was attacked near Abbaspur village. He said that military helicopters on both sides intimate each other before flying according to the standard operating procedure.
The Prime Minister of Pak-occupied Kashmir being in the aircraft and he declaring that I was in the aircraft, what did he wanted exactly to convey to India? Basically, if he wants to convey to India that POK and LOC is our own part and that is why I was there in the aircraft and I crossed over, then I should say that POK is India's part and Kashmir is the integral part of our country. So we should annex POK and the entire Kashmir should come under India. The second thing is that by declaring this, is he giving an indication that probably this aircraft had come for surveillance and had India shot it down, Pakistan would have cried aloud in the world that look, they have killed the Prime Minister of Pak-occupied Kashmir. So both these things should be looked at and there is no business of Prime Minister of Pakistan to enter into the Indian territory, cross the LOC and come into India. You declaring that it was me in the aircraft, what do you want to show? You want to show your bravery that you crossed the LOC and came inside and yet the Indians didn't shoot you? Was this your intention? So the intention of he declaring is exactly not known, but then all these intentions, whatever it may be, the fact remains that you had crossed a country's LOC which was not proper. Had we shot you down, then the result would have been much grave.
Raja Farooq Haider belongs to Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and have in recent past vent anger at the Pakistani agency ISI in which he once even threatened to leave Pakistan due to the negligence of Kashmiri sentiment. Earlier this year in the month of February, a Pakistani military helicopter had flown dangerously close to the line of control in Poonch area of Jammu and Kashmir. The incident was cited as a breach of a bilateral agreement inked in 1991. Poonch also turns out to be an area where the surgical strikes were launched 2 years ago, and ever since reports of the terrorist bases being set up again, the Indian security forces have decided not to take any chances.
Pakistan, known all over the world to be a terror state, has been left red-faced in front of many international communities and forums. Recently, the Philippines banned the entry of a terror suspect known to have links with the Islamic State. Newsweek South Asia takes a look.
Naseem Hussain, a 36-year-old national, was intercepted at the Clark International Airport in Pampanga, where he was denied entry into the Philippines. The Philippines Bureau of Immigration confirmed the decision of banning the entry of the terrorist suspect. He was turned away because he's on our alert list of suspected international terrorists for being an alleged trainer of the Daesh.
I'm very glad that the Philippines has taken this step. Obviously, it is a mega embarrassment for Pakistan because Pakistan so far has been saying that it is only India and India and India who continue to say that terrorism is emanating their sources or America. Now Philippines also coming to the same. Bangladesh, Afghanistan have already been pointing fingers at Afghanistan. With Southeast Asian countries also pointing a finger at Afghanistan, it's a great embarrassment for Pakistan.
Bureau of Immigration Officer in Charge, Deputy Commissioner Mark Red Marinas said Hussain was immediately excluded and booked on the first available flight of origin. The Bureau of Immigration said the Pakistani suspect has been on the watch list of the military intelligence community. This was his second attempt to enter Philippines, the official said, adding he was denied entry in May through the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Hussain claimed that he has worked as a digital designer for the past 16 years and that he had travelled to the Philippines to visit his Filipina girlfriend living in Olongapo City. The military has sought to help from the Immigration Bureau in stopping Hussain from entering the Philippines. He is on the watch list of the military.
Till such time the United Nations defines what is terrorism and takes certain concrete measures, I think this is the right way to go. Every country should ban entry of Pakistanis to ensure that Pakistan learns the lesson the hard way. This is the simplest and the easiest method to follow.
In recent years, many Pakistani nationals have been detained or sent back from the airports due to suspicion, as the country is known all over the world for being a terror state. Last month, Bahrain authorities placed a temporary ban on Pakistanis entering the kingdom. Almost every country in the world has been banning the entry of Pakistan nationals to maintain order in the state.
The much-awaited Afghanistan elections are just around the corner, but terror outfits backed by Pakistan are now giving a tough time to Afghanistan government and the US-led NATO forces stationed in the country. With just a few days to go, the Ashraf Ghani government has a lot to prove to ensure safe polling. Newsweek South Asia has a report.
Nearly 2 weeks of peace in Afghanistan's capital Kabul before two separate attacks rocked the city yet again. 5 people were killed and 16 others were injured in the coordinated terror attacks. Zia Durrani, police spokesman in southern Kandahar province, says 2 women were killed and 16 other people were wounded when their vehicle hit a roadside bomb on Thursday afternoon in Zahari district. He says 14 of the 16 wounded civilians are women.
I think the strategies so far have not been very comprehensive. Afghanistan needs an internal strategy for how to deal with the Taliban and with the opposition. Then a regional strategy is required, then an international.
Ataullah Khogiani, spokesman for the governor of Eastern Nangarhar province, says a bomb blast near a non-governmental organization office killed 2 people and wounded 7 others. In the capital, 1 person was killed when a sticky bomb attached to a vehicle detonated, according to Nasrat Rami, deputy spokesman for Afghan Interior Ministry. He said 1 was wounded. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the attacks. On the other hand, a suicide bomber blew himself up in eastern Afghanistan's Nangarhar province at an election rally. The blast killed 13 people and wounded 30 others. Around 250 people were attending the rally, said Shorab Qadri, a member of the provincial council, adding that at least 30 people were killed and dozens more wounded. The parliamentary election is seen as both a dry run for more important presidential election next year and a test of the government's ability to provide security. Officials acknowledge that sustained violence could delay the process if it proved unsafe for voters to go to the polling stations. Nangarhar has been one of the worst hit areas because Pakistan's malicious plots and designs in the recent past. The people are now raising question over the security arrangements of the government before the elections. On the other hand, Aziz Rafai, a political analyst in Afghanistan, said that the country needs to focus on domestic policies to deal with the problems and believes external powers are limited in easing the situation. He said Afghanistan should concentrate on domestic policies rather than considering regional and international strategies in order to save the worsening security situation. The situation in the country has been deteriorating this year, with a record high of civilians killed in domestic conflicts during the first half of 2018. So far in September, there have been over 100 deaths caused by terrorist attacks. The frequent attacks are aimed at spreading panic among the society ahead of the parliamentary elections in October. Many believe that the Taliban and other militant groups are causing disruption as they do not have a smooth political transition.
In the current destruction activities, particularly with the new attacks in Afghanistan, and particularly in the major cities of Afghanistan, it is a sign of weakness for the opposition as well, but is also a sign of the intelligence work inside the country. I mean, this has a double definition. I think we, as a nation, have not been very well reacting to the situation.
According to the expert, if government wants to stop the situation from further deteriorating, it must carry out practical policies to fight against extremist groups while properly handling internal conflicts. However, though the government had several talks with the Taliban in recent years, the outcomes have not lived up to expectations.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@anin.com. This is Surbhi Sharma signing off on the behalf of entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.